As Sam stood in the kitchen preparing breakfast in a delicate, sexy nightie, his mind wandered, as it often did. He couldn't help but wonder how drastically different his life might have been if he had simply refused that contract. Yet deep down, he knew the truth of what he had become. A sensual ornament for an Arab prince, a living testament to the perceived frailty of Western masculinity. Now, with the contract nearing its end, Sam found himself gripped by conflicting emotions. The relief he thought he'd feel was absent, replaced by a gnawing sense of uncertainty. Once again, he replayed the journey in his mind, trying to make sense of it all. It had all started almost accidentally. His girlfriend, Karen, had responded to what seemed to be a standard advertisement for a modeling opportunity. But when she arrived, it quickly became clear that modeling was only a facade. The real offer was to be Prince Hassan's companion for 6 months. The pay was obscene, almost too good to believe. Still, Karen wasn't the kind of woman who could accept such an arrangement. She'd refused, outraged by the proposal. But as Sam escorted her out of the building, everything changed. One of the prince's assistants approached him instead, offering 3 times the initial amount if he would take the job Karen had just rejected. Sam had laughed it off, refusing outright. But then, they doubled the offer, and when that didn't sway him, they tripled it. Eventually, the sum became so astronomical that he had to at least hear them out. The details were unlike anything he'd ever imagined. A 6-month contract, first 2 months devoted to intense preparation, surgery, hormones, every step needed to transform him into the idealized vision of what the prince desired. He remembered sitting there, stunned, weighing the impossible. The money was life-changing, a sum that could erase every debt, secure a future he'd never thought possible. After days of deliberation, Sam made the choice that would alter his life forever. When he woke up in a hospital surrounded by doctors and caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror, regret washed over him. He broke down in tears multiple times, struggling to reconcile with his new reality. It took days for him to come to terms with the changes: his newly perky breasts, rounded hips, surgically enhanced face, flowing luscious hair, and his manhood that was barely visible. Eventually, he began to accept his transformed physique. Over the course of few weeks, Sam was taught the ways to be a dedicated woman and act like a proper lady. 2 professional models were assigned to him full-time to ensure that he becomes the ultimate sensual beauty, just as Hassan demanded. The day to reintroduce Sam as Hassan's lover, Samantha, was coming up, and the girls were prepping him up day and night to ensure that he look his best in front of his new lover. With his strict diet and daily doses of estrogen, his muscles faded away, leaving no trace of the man he once was. For his grand reintroduction, he was dressed in an elegant wedding gown, a symbolic gesture, not for a real wedding, but to fulfill Hassan's vision of a consummation night where Samantha would lose her virginity. As Sam prepared for the moment, his heart raced uncontrollably. Seeing Hassan for the first time since the surgery, he felt a mixture of fear, regret, and an overwhelming sense of vulnerability. Hassan was thrilled with Sam's appearance and led him to his master bedroom, where he kissed him for the first time. Hassan gently undressed him into his white bridal lingerie and instructed him to lie on the bed on all 4s. That night, Sam lost his virginity and officially began his journey as Samantha. She sighed, accepting that this was her life for the next 5 months. It started off harsh, but as time passed, the romance became more familiar and pleasurable. Sam had always dreamed of traveling the world and exploring the coasts of Europe with his girlfriend. But now that dream had taken an unexpected turn. He was living it as another man's girlfriend. Sam's life as Samantha was fraught with challenges. In America, her assistants dressed her in the most provocative outfits, ensuring all eyes were on her. Strangers stared openly, men approached her for her number, and some ogled shamelessly. This was exactly how Hassan wanted her, an object of desire that made the world envy him. But things were starkly different in the Middle East. When accompanying Hassan on his business trips there, Samantha was always concealed in a burqa, hidden from view. a stark contrast to the life she led elsewhere. During a business trip to Dubai on the third month, Samantha was strolling through a mall on one of her usual shopping excursions when a familiar voice stopped her in her tracks. "Sam?" Her heart froze as she turned to see Karen, her ex-girlfriend, staring at her in disbelief. The two locked eyes, shock etched across both their faces. Karen's gaze shifted over Samantha, her ex-boyfriend, now dressed in a beautiful yellow gown with a burqa draped over her head. Karen's mind reeled as she remembered how Sam had vanished from her life without explanation. And now, a few months later, here they were, meeting under the most surreal circumstances.